Alright guys, welcome back for another track guide this week from Circuit of the Americas. Quite like this track, a little bit of a tricky one as far as some of the corners go. They're a little bit weird to wrap your head around, but once you figure it out, your time will come down, and it's quite easy to figure out once you sort of figure it out basically. Once you see how to take the corners, yeah, you go, oh, that's pretty easy, and then yeah, your time starts to come down. But I won't waffle on anymore. Guys, coming up into the first corner here. Coming up the hill, so that's really quite good. On the right here, you'll see it's got that little pyramid sort of style thing, and then you got like a light post at that pyramid there. I get on the brakes in a straight line as usual from 6 all the way back down to 2nd. Just up here on the hill, you'll see it like it goes up the hill and then it sort of drops off as it comes into the corner. Just try not to be on that while you're braking. It'll skip the tyres out or kick the arse end out, as you'll see up here, all the way back down to 2nd. It's quite a wide entry, coming in nice and tight, and then a wide exit, as you'll see here. It's coming up all the way back down to 2nd. That's a little drop off there. You're back to 2nd, done your braking, hugging the apex there, nice and tight, and then back on the accelerator for a nice tidy exit there. So coming into the second right-hander here, all the way up into 4th. I hold 4th coming in just to get a bit of like a compression turn going into the corner, set my line, and then accelerating out in clicking 5th, as you'll see here. So holding 4th here, getting right in nice and tight there, clicking 5th, and then just accelerating out as hard as possible. So coming into these next ones, this is a tricky one. This is one that you have to wrap your hand around as well. So as you can see there, a lot of people come out to the right. I find it hard to sort of judge. It's probably the way to go, as it'll set up your next right-hander, but I just sort of find this one's works just as good for me. So I'm in 5th still, hugging this little yellow thing as tight as possible, trying to, pretty much if you're going to hit that, you can just nick it. You don't want to go any further, otherwise you will get a penalty. And same with the right one. So what you're basically trying to do is come in nice and tight, coming out wide here, and then coming in tight right to get into the next one. Same with the next one, coming out right as far as you can, and then trying to get in nice and tight, just to basically straighten out the corners and keep your speed up. I do go through here in 5th, just past here 4th, keeping a little bit of acceleration to keep the car steady. I hold 4th. You can go back to 3rd if it's like you find the car's not coming around. I hold 4th, but keeping on that accelerator as you hit your apex tends to kick the arse end around and gets you nice and sweetly around that corner. As you'll see here, it's a bit easier to show you rather than explain it. So coming in, back to 4th, back on the accelerator a little bit, just to get that arse end around, as you'll see there. And then just holding 4th all the way through here. Coming over nice and tight. I skip the curbs a little bit there. I find it's not too bad. Can unsteady it sometimes, so just watch that one. But coming to this next left-hander. So coming over, I'm still in 4th, hugging this one as tight as possible. Try not to drop your tyres too far inside the curb here. You will get a penalty. So just as I go past here, I drop 3rd and go back to 2nd. Get on the brakes, go back to 3rd. And then, yeah, nice and tight to this next left-hander, as you'll see here. So nice and tight there, back to 3rd. And then you're coming in and you want to keep your right-hand tyres just on the edge of the curb there as you're coming in and hit your apex. Don't go in, otherwise you will get a penalty. So, back on the play button there. So coming through the left-hander there. Now into this next one, a little bit of a tricky one, but once like I said before, if you wrap your head around it, it's not too hard. Keep your right tyres nice and tight, close to there. Keep your left tyres nice and close to this next one. And then once again, right tyres nice and close to this one. So what you want to do is, once you shoot through here, you're in 3rd gear, about here, start braking, off the accelerator, keep your tyres, don't go inside that curb. That'll straighten you straight through to here. It will give you a little skip. Don't go too hard on the brakes. And then once you're hitting about here, you want to be off the brakes and start accelerating through the apex of the corner there. It'll get the arse end around and get you out of that corner with a nice bit of speed. I hung it a little bit wide here, but that's not what you want to do, as you'll see here. It's coming in nice and tight. Back on the accelerator there. I sort of carried a bit too much speed into that corner. As you saw, I went a little bit too wide. But yeah, if you wash off that little bit more speed but get on the accelerator at the same place, you'll get a nice smooth run out of that corner. Coming into this next left hand, pretty much tight hairpin. You got these nice little white markers on the right here that come in handy. So between this one and the last one, right in the middle there, that's where I start braking. I brake a little bit early on this run, but sort of I find right in the middle tends to be pretty beneficial. So yeah, right in the middle there, on the brakes, in a straight line, back to 3rd, back to 2nd. coming in wide and then hugging your apex nice and tight, and then accelerating out as hard as you can. So as you see there, in a straight line, back to second, coming in, hitting your curb nice and tightly, accelerating out using all the track there up into third for this next right-hander. It's coming all the way over onto the left side of the track here, coming in. So this is another corner. You want to get in really nice and tight to your curb here, but make sure the car's turn before you get back on the gas. If you get on too early, you'll shoot too wide on the track. If you get on too early, you can lose the RSN. You just want to get your car nice and around before you start accelerating. As you'll see here, it's coming in, back to second, nice and tight on that yellow curving there, and accelerating out of that right-hander. Just don't go too hard. As I said, you will lose the RSN. So you want to, once again, try to get your left-hand tyres as close to here as you possibly can. Don't go over the curb, just to get a nice run out of there. So coming into this next left-hander, a little bit of a tricky one, but once again, wrap your head around it. So coming in here, getting your right tyres nice and close to there, but it shoots you out into the middle of the track for this next left-hander. So you're going into the middle of the track, which will allow you to brake in a straight line going back to second. So I'm holding third. I start braking out into the middle of the track, and then a late back to second, as you'll see here, coming out in the middle of the track, back to second, and then coming in. I've sort of shot out this way too much. You want to sort of get the car turned back around this way. As you'll see, I'll sort of start out here, keep washing off speed, and then trying to get around. You want to sort of come back out around this way. Then you can accelerate out of that corner nice and hard. I probably washed too much speed into the top, didn't wash off enough speed into the corner there. So yeah, held too much speed through and then had to try to correct it afterwards. But yeah, that's the idea for that corner. As you can see there, trying to get the car right around. So up into third, up into fourth for this next right-hander. I don't come across here early. I sort of stick out here, and then you'll see it in this right-hand, like gradual right-hand corner here. It comes around, it like kinks like once, and then kinks twice. On that second kink, you want to be nice and tight to that, as you'll see here, coming around into that one there. So you want to keep your tyres just outside the curbing again, but keeping that really nice and tight. Sort of straightens this one out, so you're not like drifting right out here. You're coming around more mid-track, and then it sets you up for the next corner coming out of the right here. Once again, coming right across here. I've just gone into mid-track. I haven't drifted right out here, so I'm not losing a lot of time. I'm coming back across, keeping my tyres just outside that curbing again, and then accelerating out as hard as you can without losing the arse end here. Once again, coming right across, as you can see there, and just accelerating back out. Come back across the right-hand corner for the second last corner here, right-hand side of the track for the second last corner. About 2 car lengths before this white, or 3, as you can see there, I'm already on the brakes. Before this white line here on the left, that's where I tend to brake. Reasonably hard, not too hard under brakes, about half. Back to third in a straight line, and then setting up your apex, and then getting on the accelerator just on or just before the apex, as you'll see here, back on it right there. So accelerating out as hard as you can, trying to lose the arse end. Coming up here, right about here, as you can see the shadow, there's an overpass, and then you got this white line here. So between the overpass and the white line, that's where I get on the brakes. From fourth back to third in a straight line once again, and then coming in, hitting your apex and accelerating out as hard as you possibly can. As you'll see here, nice and tight on the apex there, and then accelerating out as hard as you can. Try not to drop a wheel like I just did there. I think I got a little bit of a penalty, but yeah, try not to hit that one. That's another track guide, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about last week, but I'll be back in the race this week. Can't wait to see us. Thanks again.